Beady bada, beady bada, beady bada, weep weep. Hey, this is Oingle, and this is a gameplay of me on a new account called OingleBlade, one word, on the PlayStation. I only play on the PlayStation. And the purpose of this is to basically have a separate account that I can play around with knifing only. Knifing only is when you only kill people using elements in the game that are blade related. In this case, it is the knife, the tomahawk, and the ballistic knife. Now, this is the very first game on this account. There was actually a very, very short game, 10 seconds or something, that somebody rage quit on, and it didn't even record. But this is the first one after that, and it's not great. It's 8 to 10. But it's using the SMG class, which has lightweight marathon, sleight of hand, and flash grenades, I think. Anyway, it's pretty good for knifing right out of the box. So that's... I created this for a couple of reasons. One is... that's a big fail. One is that I wanted to have it... I've been trying to knife on my regular account, but the truth is I have two classes for knifing. In other words, I have two to choose from at any given time, or I have to go in and tweak them, and I wanted to play around with a lot of different class setups. But the main one that made me do this was that my wife has started playing Call of Duty, which is pretty awesome, but she sucks at it. And I know, I think it's kind of cool to watch because it makes me sort of remember what it was like in the very beginning when you can't aim and move at the same time, and you get frustrated just trying to aim down the sight and hit somebody, and it doesn't make any sense, and everything seems backwards and counterintuitive. But what's happening is that when we get into a room together to play, or into a lobby, you know, I think 5th prestige I'm on now, pulls in people who are way better than she is, and makes it so that there are people who aren't as good as I am. Not that I'm great, but obviously there are noobs out there, or they wouldn't be called noobs, and that makes it a little bit boring for me. So if I use this account and I get you know, pretty poor scores like this until I get better, then we'll be a little more even parred. We will pair up together in the right kind of lobby, is what I'm trying to say. Now, I did a little bit of playing a Call of Duty 4. I did a little bit of playing a World at War, but I really got into this game the day that Modern Warfare 2 shipped. I bought it and I basically played for about an eighth of my life for about a year, literally, playing in Modern Warfare 2. And I really loved the base class that had the Magnum with the tack knife on it. And one of the things that I like to do with that, or the reason I liked it, other than the fact that it had the UMP45, was that it was great for knifing. And later I got into a group of guys who liked to snipe. I wasn't the greatest sniper, but they taught me how to use playing with them taught me how to use the throwing knife because they used it as part of their sniper class. So that's just a long way or short way, I guess, of giving you some history of me and knifing. It's not new to this game. But I do like the extra element that you have not only the tomahawk, which is basically the throwing knife, but you also have the ballistic knife. And the ballistic knife is a little bit like the tack knife, in the sense that it kind of gives you a little bit of extra goodies trying to kill somebody. It basically just gives you a slightly bigger lunge range. And then the sleight of hand, if you get the pro version, actually acts more like the tack knife, which lets you recover from the thrust or whatever, so that you can do it again quicker. So that's typically the setup that people go for. But again, this is the first game. I don't have any of those things yet. One of the things that I always look forward to in Modern Warfare 2 when I would prestige was getting to level 26 and then starting to be able to actually unlock the tack knife for the Magnum. Before that, the Magnum was on a fixed class, but you couldn't change it. And then when you got the Magnum, you actually had to, work your way through, I think, 150 kills to get the TAC knife on it. Or you could do that with any of the pistols. Anyway, so basically this is just a little introduction. I'll go into a lot more detail about what kind of classes I use, techniques, and, I haven't been knifing a whole lot, so this is really rusty, and I don't have the perks and stuff that I want to have on here. But so that's not going to take over my channel, but it's going to be something that I'm going to do once in a while. It doesn't, most people who knife will tell you that it doesn't work in all situations. It's really kind of a novelty thing in the sense, not to diminish it, but in the sense that using the shotguns or using the LMGs and even using the sniper, it's not the best all-around setup. For that, it's basically the assault rifles and then to a lesser degree the SMGs. And that's what I typically play with on my main account. So I hope that all made sense. I think that this kind of a thing this kind of a challenge, when one challenges themselves this way, they limit themselves in some way, it really gets you to work on other fundamentals. In this game, I have to, always make sure that people are behind me. I have to try to figure out where people are and then come up with a way to get to them. I can't just throw a grenade. I can't just shoot from across the map. Nice big fail there too. You have to get creative, and you have to know what the limitations are and know what the benefits are when you pick a novelty class like this. And I think that makes for a better gaming experience because you're not relying on the sort of, the basics. You have to push yourself to get good at things that are a little more subtle in the game. And I think that makes for, better overall gameplay when you go back to the regular game style. So, one last thing, I really want to thank everybody who's been supportive of my channel. It means a lot to me. It does to everybody who runs a channel. This is work. I wish that I could just sit down and whip these things out, but I do multiple takes. You have to go through the labor of actually recording it and then transcoding it and uploading it and all that kind of stuff. But it means a lot to me that you guys appreciate it. That's what keeps me motivated. This is Oingle. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can find all of that information on Oingle.com. Please rate, vote, subscribe.